Good morning. My name is Suzette Rasmussen, and I represent a group of women who wish to speak out regarding the recent allegations related to Tim Ballard, the former CEO of Operation Underground Railroad. I've been asked to read a statement on their behalf. As former employees and contractors who worked closely with Operation Underground Railroad, we are choosing to give a public statement about our experiences with Tim Ballard. Earlier this year, complaints were filed that opened the door for an internal investigation. We now stand together to affirm the truth behind these allegations. Our involvement with Operation Underground Railroad was rooted in our commitment to fighting against human trafficking. But while engaging in that noble cause, we were subjected to sexual harassment, spiritual manipulation, grooming, and sexual misconduct. Though we value our privacy as we work to rebuild our lives, we also feel a responsibility to speak out and state unequivocally that these allegations are true. We acknowledge the risks involved in challenging someone as prominent as Tim Ballard. We will reveal our stories in our own time and in our own way and on our own terms. But for now, we choose to remain anonymous. We wish to express our gratitude for the outpouring of support from those who have responded and commented to the media and social media posts. We also want to extend our support and solidarity to all survivors of harassment and abuse of any kind. We believe you, and we are standing by your side as you embark on your own healing journey. For anyone else who may wish to move forward, you can reach out to me via email at ourfo@allutahlaw.com. Thank you.
Suzanne, how many women are you representing?
I can't comment specifically, but I will say that it's several women that are involved in the group.
What is several? More than 7, 8, 9?
I can't comment specifically.
So Vice reported there's as many as 7, if not more than 7 female victims. Does that number seem high to you? Does it seem low to you? Or does that seem just right?
Well, that number is a variable, obviously, but I would say that it's pretty close to accurate.
Suzanne, can you detail the nature of the sexual misconduct? What happened?
I can't make specific statements right now other than what I've stated.
Suzanne, have the women gone to the police? And if so, what was the outcome? If not, why not?
And I can't speak on that statement as well. At this point, I can't give any additional information or details.
As their attorney, what's your role? Are you filing a lawsuit, or what's kind of the next step for you as the attorney?
I can't comment on the next steps, but more details may be coming forward.
OUR put out a statement today saying when they got these allegations, they conducted an investigation, put them on administrative leave, so forth. Are your clients satisfied with the response that they got out of OUR?
I won't be able to comment on that as well.
Can you share next steps or timeline or what that might look like moving forward for yourself and the women you're representing?
At this point, I can just state that the women feel very strongly that the fight against human trafficking is a noble endeavor and one that these women were eager to engage in, but the behavior of Tim Ballard crossed the line, and these women cannot remain silent.
Have you responded all to the material he's put out about this couples ruse and how he's described what was happening there as a tactic?
I can't make any comments about that.
Is there any way that we can corroborate and prove that these women were on operations with him or so forth without identifying them? I mean, we just take your word on it.
Again, I can't make any statements right now about that, but we'll wait to see what happens in the coming future.
And the time frame, I'm sorry, the time frame of these encounters, it sounds like complaints were made a few months ago, but over what span of time did these interactions with him?
I can say that complaints have been filed and statements were known for several months.
Suzanne, can you just confirm that OUR fired Tim because of these allegations?
I can't confirm that. I can't make any statements regarding OUR's response to the allegations.
What will, if any, have information? How many more women do you think may have been abused or harassed by Tim Ballard?
I can't speculate, but we do know it's several women.
Several more women.
What role, if any, have non-disclosure agreements played in the anonymity of these sources?
Again, I can't make any comments regarding that.
Is that because of pending litigation?
I can't state what may or may not happen with litigation, with regard to litigation at this time.
Is it safe to say you weren't just hired to perform a press conference today?
Again, these women wanted their voice heard, and they wanted to affirm the truth of these allegations. And that is their purpose for making a statement publicly today.
When you say affirming the allegations, are you affirming what was reported by Vice? Was there anything that has been reported by Vice that was inaccurate, or can you affirm those allegations?
The affirmations that the women make are the truth of their experiences. And their experiences were that they experienced sexual harassment, spiritual manipulation, grooming, and sexual misconduct.
And do the women at all feel that perhaps their relationships were consensual, but at the same time feel a little bit of embarrassment perhaps that their relationships were consensual, but you're saying experienced this type of manipulation?
The only thing I can say at this time, and more details may come forward as they express that they would like to share their story in their own time and on their own terms, but at this point they are working to rebuild their lives. These are real women whose lives were affected through their marriages, through their families, and they're working to rebuild from here and heal.
Can you elaborate a little bit more on what rebuild means? What do they need to do?
I can't comment for them specifically on what rebuilding their lives looks like for each one of them, but they have stated that they're in the process of trying to work through what they need to at this point.
Do you have any
said
reason?
When you say several more women, you've identified several more women out there, or you think there are several more women that are out there that you don't know of, you're not aware of?
I can't comment on that at this point.
Do you have any reason to believe that these cases have anything to do with the church's condemnation of Tim Ballard?
I can't make any comments regarding that.
Can you detail what spiritual manipulation means?
Again, these are the statements made by the victims, and so I don't want to put words in their mouth other than what they've stated, which is that they were manipulated spiritually.
How important is it for people to believe them?
Again, they felt it was important enough that even with everything going on, they felt that they needed to know, again, the truth so that they can protect themselves and also protect other women from this happening to them.
Any more?
Yeah, when you say that they've experienced these different types of things, are all of them experiencing the misconduct, the harassment, the religious manipulation, what you stated, or are there varying levels and degrees to each of the women that you're working with of what they experience personally?
I can't comment on their individual matters at this point.
Why did you feel it was important, and the women feel it was important for you to make this statement today?
The women have remained silent as much as possible to this point, and as further denials of these allegations come from the other side, they felt it was very important that the public know the truth. So they've asked me to make this statement today.
But we're having a hard time with the truth because you haven't said a ton. And I recognize you're trying to keep them safe, and that's absolutely the goal of us as well. But what can you tell us about what they're alleging happened?
I can refer to what they've alleged and their specific terms of being groomed and the sexual harassment, sexual misconduct, and the spiritual manipulation.
Are you able to identify any of the ages of the women?
I'm not able to comment on that information.
Are they all from Utah?
Again, I'm not able to comment on that.
Are you representing any male employees or former employees?
I can't comment on who my clients are as well.
Not genders?
No. No information regarding my clients.
Do any of your clients have information about the criminal fraud investigation of OUR?
I can't comment on that as well.
Is the statement you read specifically from women?
The statement that I read is specifically from a group of women. That's correct.
Suzanne, what do the women want at the end of the day? Do they want Tim to have to pay? Do they want, like, what is the goal here?
I can't comment further on the outcomes, and so that's all I can say is what they've asked in their statement, that the public be made aware of the truth.
Is this statement made by all of the women or just some of the women?
The statement on behalf group of women.
So you've given a lot of no comments today, and I think to an extent we all understand and respect that. Can you give a little bit more detail on why it's so important for you to keep a lot of this information tight-lipped for now?
Again, because of the severity of this matter and that it affects real women and their lives and their families, at this point, I can't give any additional information.
Do the women feel right now that Tim Ballard has been held accountable?
I can't comment on that.
Have you personally been contacted by the Attorney General's office or any other law enforcement agency in the state?
I can't comment on that.
Anything else you want no comment on? Okay. Thanks, guys, very much.
Thank you so much for your attendance and your questions.